Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Harambedome. Now, I would like to introduce our two guests, the two who went at it in the championship last year. Please introduce yourselves, guests today.
My
Well,
God, were you reading off a script?
oh,
I would like
I'll
to
go.
introduce. I'd like to introduce these people. You guys can introduce yourselves.
I'll go first because I took the L that championship game. It's Teddy Boy back for the first time this season. It's good to be back on the dome. Let's get it done.
Love it, love it. Let's give some claps here for Teddy. Olave
And
Gardner.
reigning champ, Captain the Gibbs, looking to run it back and catch another dub this year.
And
Not
second
looking
time on the
so hot
pod.
so far, but we're staying steady.
Absolutely. And is this back to back weeks for you on the pod?
I don't think I was on last week.
Okay, I think
It
It
was
was
Wardle
Wardle,
last
wasn't
we
week.
had
it?
Wardle. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah, we have Wardle. Oh, how could I forget Wardle? He
yeah, you were
charges
trying
so
to get
much.
that. You're trying to get his energy up before your wedding, I think. Make him
Yeah,
feel a little more involved in the ground game.
a
I just
hundred
remember because
percent.
I was listening on the drive down to Howie, and Wardle's voice almost made me fucking puke in the dashboard.
That's funny because I was at his house in person and the same thing was happening to me. So
Well, we are slightly sad today because one of the co-hosts of the show can't join us, Jordan Dry. He
Jordan
listen,
died
it's
doing what he
not good.
loved,
Yeah, doing what he loved. Tell him about it.
jumping through, folding plastic tables.
Ugh, ugh, brutal, brutal. But you know what? Hopefully, he can still manage to make it back next week. Considering someone runs his team anyway, it's not like his team's going to be too affected. Um, but we'll see if we can manage to reel him back in next week. But for now, yeah, it's sad. Moment of silence for Jordan. So let's uh let's turn and get right into this. And I have to ask, is there any bad blood still in this roomy relationship after last year's championship game?
I don't know that there ever was any bad blood.
There was a little bit of competition in the air, but it was Bizzle's year. It was what it was. We put up a fight. You know what? If we ran it back, I'm coming for that ass, but not too much ill will. There's much bigger fish to fry in this league right now in terms of uh heels to beef with, if you catch my drift.
I mean, I'm looking at the trophy right now and Ted's name is on here. I don't think he's hurting for success.
That's true. That's true. Um,
I need it on there again. It's not, the climb up to that championship game, it don't come often. Sometimes there's years in between and you gotta capitalize when you get it. But Bizzle has had some tragedy in the league, so if anybody had to win it that year, it was Harambe's will at the end of the day.
at the end of the day, Harambe's will. And a goodwill it was. Now, to talk about beef that you just mentioned, though, what are each of your takes on Loesch's flight logs? Since he posted it right after a Dome episode, so we'd have to wait an entire week to talk about it, thinking we might forget. But what are your
You think that
thoughts?
was strategic?
I think there
Ooh.
was strategy
Dude,
involved.
like I don't even know that I care that much. Like if he doesn't want to care that much about the league, whatever. I don't.
I
He's done a couple things that are unimpressive to me as far as friendship goes lately. So
I would be straight up like he was like, I was gonna do a whole presentation. Then why didn't you, bitch? That would have been so fucking funny. Uh yeah, I don't know. The logs, I mean, you saw how I feel about the logs. If y'all saw the podcast cover, that shit, we're a little skeptical out here. AIs are out there, Photoshops are out there, Adobes are out there. I
That's
don't
the
That's
know.
thing.
true.
I agree. It's just like if your innocence is easily proven, why take so long to prove it? Like truly, it's as easy as sending your ticket stub or your confirmation or something. Like you do that the night of. Why was it put off for so long? Nobody knows.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
And to think, actually bringing up Ted's point, that's like a perfect cover. And I apologize for my voice. I kissed Wardle a couple times at the wedding, and I got a cold, so I'm
I
still
thought he was
recovering.
turning down kisses that night.
And you know what? I didn't get to see the photo, but I heard amidst like the hubbub, there's a photo floating around of Loesch with Robert Kardashian.
I have not
Wait,
heard
is
of
that the
this
guy who's in
photo.
the OJ photo? Is that the guy in the OJ photo? Or did I
I
just
don't
get the
know.
entire wrong guy?
Well, Robert Kardashian was like OJ's buddy and like lawyer.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
guy who
it is.
supposedly took the murder clothes and disposed of them.
Well, so s- and speaking of Loesch, it would be the perfect cover to spend like a week crafting this really well done like using Adobe like you mentioned to craft this really convincing flight log and then claim, "Oh, I waited so long because I was going to do a PowerPoint," but has even not even a little shred of a PowerPoint. And that's his cover for why it took him so long. Oh, but work. Uh I don't know, maybe I don't want to dig deep into this anymore. I really don't. I think I think it's going to have to end up being what it is, but let's just say there will always be some questions.
Well, he has to just shroud everything he does in like complete mystery, and it's like if he was just been transparent from before the flight. Like none of this would have been an issue. None of us would need to chill.
Oh,
So it's like,
don't even. Ugh. That fired
I mean,
myself and the co-host up.
If we're talking Loesch, ain't the first segment about these rankings? We'll probably be talking about his little ass tumbling down.
Yes, they are. What a very smooth transition that was, by the way, right into the rankings.
Thank
So
Little
you.
Humpty Dumpty looking ass.
let's take a look at them. Let's take a look. I have them up on the screen. If you guys have them in front of you too, our viewers, our listeners can see
I'm
them.
looking at mine. Yeah.
So thoughts. What are our initial
Wait, what are we
thoughts?
looking at?
Just
The
share
rankings?
the rankings. Yeah, just share
Oh,
your
okay, sorry.
initial thoughts and impressions on the rankings.
Mine.
Personally, go ahead, Ted. My bad, bro.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going in like honestly, like after like when I saw the rankings last week, I was like, you know what? I probably would have like as funny as it is to like troll Lowe's, put him 10th, which I know some of y'all last week did a more honest ranking and still had him pretty low. Well, you know, when Lowe's was on the pod, he's like, "How the hell am I this low?"
Yep.
And some of y'all had done some else. I was like, you know, I'm going to give him probably knock him a few points or give him a little bit of a fair shake. But then as I looked at the teams, like I'd ranked his ass last because his team is ass. Like it was like I didn't even. It was like you know, if there was any question, it's like okay, putting him 10th.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, well, especially Loesch has done himself no favors recently, so I'm like 10th bitch. But then the more I looked, I was like, holy shit! I mean, his team doesn't. Okay, yeah. I mean, his team literally. Like what did he do last week? He was like so ass 68 points. I was like,
It's
uh,
bad on paper too. His team is bad on paper. That's the funniest part. Like, there's no
no,
saving
no, no,
grace
no.
for it.
Literally, his team has the fewest points scored through the season. He has less than 300 points score. He's the only one sub 300. So it's like, no, he deserves to be 10th. Like, like troll or not. Well, we're trolling the troll. But yeah, he earned his 10th place spot this week, in my humble opinion. I don't know if y'all put him there. Obviously, I do think it's worth, probably worth a toss up with Tuck, because Tuck, which mind you, Loesch is 2-1, so it's hilarious seeing the 2-1 team down there. Mind you, I was taking record into account a little bit, but I did, you know, I took my current rankings as well, or
Well,
current like team status. Like I did put Tuck 10th, or no, I put Tuck 9th, Loesch 10th. The middle kind of skews a little bit for me, but um, like I had Jordan. I need to look at the teams. I had Jordan slightly higher than he was here, um, and I did. I was probably the only one, um, and maybe a little controversial, but it's Dome. You got to spice up the takes. I put Brennan number 1. Um, Wardle's 3-0 and his team is nasty, but just looking at the teams, I was trying to think who would I least rather face right now, and Spike team is pretty scary. Uh, Barkley, Taylor, Tyreek, Ayuk, Malik Neighbors, and the flex. Malik Neighbors has been a start. Like his
Yep.
team, and his team is pretty damn scary. So I did put Dad at first place. Him and Wardle, like you can flip up. Wardle is 3-0, so I'm not angry at all that he ended up
And
first.
I'll add to that too. Dad's team, like, he's dodged the injury bug. All those great players, no injuries. Like everybody has first and second round picks injured, out. Like I feel like a lot of teams, maybe even half of them are they're having people drop, but his team has stayed steady.
And he had Shaheed on the bench who like had a fucking dud last week, but first 2 weeks was monster. And I low key think, well, maybe Austin Eckler looked pretty good that last game. I guess he didn't really carry that much, did he? But I guess he was in the passing game. I don't know. He looked like he had a nice
No,
little game for
he was
rookie.
looking sharp. He just got concussed on a punt
Oh,
return, I
okay.
think.
Okay. I hadn't
Or
watched
But
too
not a
much of what
punt,
happened with
on
him.
a kickoff return, sorry. Not a punt return. Yeah, I mean I'll talk about the rankings as well. Like I'm looking at the bottom half here. Jordan, I think Jordan's team is stronger than where it is, but due to injuries, I try to rank at like the current strength,
Yep.
not how I think the team will be.
Yep.
So
sure.
I put him down at 7, and he wound up a little beneath that. So I'm in good agreement with that. Tuck, the only reason Tuck dodged number 10 is because I still think he has one of the best of all time team photos. It's like the perfect blend of low effort and actually trying. Um, I got to keep him up there at 9. And I'm always rooting for Tuck because he's always in like the losers bracket, but he grinds his way out. And I respect the hell out of that. Sean, I
Yep.
don't know what to think of your team, man. Like you caught a dub this week against a pretty weak Loesch team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I'm in a pretty similar situation to Loesch. Just I drafted my team. My team's got the second lowest points for.
that's something I wanted to add too. On the draft grades, right? Like even the computer gave its own draft a C, I think. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even proud of the work it did.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they actually rank it because you would think the computer would draft a team it would think is an A, right?
Well, it's not really Watson drafting because it's just picking up who's the top guy at like on the board at that time if they need that position. I don't think
Okay.
it's not
It's
like
not the same
AI.
like AI.
Yeah, it's not them like reaching for like, ooh, this guy might be a good steal at this round. It's them like, okay, which is what pissed me off, which is why like, I mean, it affected the it affected the league. I mean, because like um there was one spot where Loesch was sitting there and Vav was drafting right after him. I was drafting right after Vav. Travis Kelsey was sitting on the board. Vav was salivating. I was salivating. And then it got auto drafted by Loesch. So it's like, oh, well, there's probably a good chance Loesch is making some other pick or something. And then Vav gets him. And then could change. Like, butterfly effect could have made a decent. And I mean, that probably happened like most rounds. Again, I mean, you think like when it's picking that guy at the top of the board, chances are like, I mean, most of us are not picking the guy at the very top of the list. So it does like change the entire draft.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. I
I
agree.
think I'm me remaining at 5 is about right so far in the season. My team, I think, has shown that it has a solid floor, but it hasn't shown any good ceiling yet. So I think me in that 5, 6, 7 range will probably be consistent throughout the season. And then up here, like Matt's team has shown pop off ability. Ted's team just looking mighty solid. Like I don't think there's a weak member in Ted's team. Who's that quarterback for the Redskin
Thank
or the
you.
Washington football team?
Oh,
Jaden Daniels, yeah, I'm
Daniels.
putting him in
Yeah.
my starting lineup
Dude,
after
he
this.
looks like the
But
truth. I know every defense is not going to be as weak as the Bengals defense, but he was dropping some passes right on Scary Terry. Like I think scary hours are back. That team's picking up.
I hope scary hours
I
are
will
back.
say I think there's a little weakness coming out of his keeper, Rashad White, which is unfortunate as a Bucks fan, but
agreed,
um
agreed.
it looks like Joe Mixon might be coming back. So, you know, you got a little backfill right there. Who's starting your fly? Oh yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. That dude looks like the truth. Like you took some flyers on some young players, and I think it's really working out. As well as the risk on Jamar Chase. As well, I consider that a risk because who knows, he could have like held out or something. And
Yeah.
then yeah, Brennan's team absolutely disgusting. No injuries. Like all of his running backs could be an RB1 on somebody's team. It feels like.
Yep.
And Wardle just got the Kamara of old, I guess, because he didn't really show out like that for me last season. He was solid, but he wasn't like RB1.
Yeah, Kamara's proven to be an RB1 this year, which I wouldn't have seen that coming. So,
Yeah, after what JB said too, when I was looking, because in general, like most of the time, obviously it looks like the above 500 teams did kind of rise up a little in the sub. We're down a little. Obviously, there's a few changes. The one guy the one sub 500 team I had the highest was Matt at 4. I do think Matt's team is better than a 1 and 2. Um, so yeah, that was the one dude I had the highest at like a negative record.
yeah, I think he's better than 1 and 2 as well with his for sure. Yeah, I mean, and don't forget there were actually 4 people who ranked. Jordan included his rankings in this, so um, we had 4 different people with different takes.
Oh, that okay, that makes sense because you were talking about, or Ted mentioned that he ranked Jordan a little higher than he is here.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah, I put him at 7. I was like, how do you wind up at 8? But I guess
he ranked
because I didn't think
himself
you'd put
low.
him down at like, yeah, I didn't think you'd put him down at 10 or something like that, So that makes
Nope.
sense.
Yeah, he ranked himself low, and they're tied for first because Ted and I actually both put Brennan in first place. And
Okay.
I honestly think that Wardle's team is really really good. I don't know what to make of Jawan Jennings yet, but like I compared the 2 rosters next to each other, and I still like Dad's more. Um, Wardle's has shown like great pop off ability, and like some of the players may be like draws or scratches where it's like okay, like they offset each other when I'm looking to compare the rosters. But when I look at Dad's roster, I think uh, Wardle wins the quarterback battle, but also Burrow's on his bench. But Burrow had, correct me if I'm wrong, a good week last week. He's been trending up. He's in the 30s, so that's a great quarterback week. Saquon and Kamara offset. Mason and Taylor, you could say maybe they offset. You could give the edge to Taylor. I would offset him the way that with the touches Mason's getting and his efficiency. Um, Diggs Diggs offsets Tyreek even without Tua because Tyreek is just that good, and I think Diggs is the number 2. Well, he is the number 2 receiver on that team. Neighbors is better than anyone that Wardle has in his wide receiver 2 spot. The tight ends offset. The flex is offset
No,
with.
I think Cole Kmet might be
You think he's better?
like that. Well, I don't know. He had a monster week last week.
He
Obviously, that's
did.
one week. He had like 10 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
If uh if Caleb Williams is improving, which in theory he could be developing all year long, like who
Could
knows,
be a good
Komet
snag.
might be his guy. Obviously, I do think maybe I'm delusional too. I do think Kyle Pitts is going to have a nice year, but it's
I
been
mean,
so
historically,
far.
Kirk Cousins like works the tight end position pretty well. So
Yeah.
I could see it, looking at these two players, the history is there for Komet. Like Komet has been a strong fantasy asset, like top, I would say 10 tight end the past 2 years. Pitts has been not that. So
Yeah.
Right.
the best like predictor of future performance is usually past performance. I got to give it to Komet on this one.
Well,
Which
shit,
is fair.
we might have to be. Oh yeah, he does have Eckler out on the IR right now.
He does. Yeah, and I
And well, I
mean
mean, to
he
be
has
fair, Wardle
Debo.
has McCaffrey on the IR, so but obviously Mason has filled in perfectly, but McCaffrey would still be having more points than Mason.
I
Um,
agree. I agree. And
but with the
Debo,
way the league has gone, we need to really start comparing people's kickers.
well, let's take a look.
This season is
Cairo
insane.
Santos, pick kicker number 11 for Dad. 2 double-digit weeks
Evan
and a
McPherson
single-digit
is
week.
hot fucking garbage, dude.
Evan McPherson,
Hot garbage.
yeah, he is worse by a couple
He
spots.
missed he missed a very hittable one this past game. I do remember that.
And I think I like the Chiefs defense more than I like the Dolphins defense too. And that numbers show that too. So I think that it rounds out with Dad's team being better. And then even if you
Oh,
take Debo and make him healthy, I still think that
you
Malik
can't
Neighbors.
you can't barely start a defense with a backup quarterback. I feel like the biggest contributor to a defense having low points is having greater time on the field. Like they're inversely proportional, right?
Okay.
So if
You
your
think you
team's not
want?
keeping the ball, the other team has more chances to put points up on you. Like even if they get stops for field goals, it's ripping points off them, you know? So I just think like not having Tua hurts the Dolphins defense, fantasy wise.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, because their drives will be shorter. The defense will be on the field longer. Yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I like Dad's overall roster better. Um, so and even in Dad's starting Komet now, and he is benching. He's giving Mark Andrews the bench, rightfully so. But I would even take Mark Andrews over Kyle Pitts. Although, wow, one target last week. That is rough. Mark Andrews is going through it.
Yeah,
What's
I
going
have
on
a
with him?
feeling. I have a feeling Mark Andrews will probably be fine, but who knows? Um, yeah. Did you have any big differences, Sean?
Not really. Let me go back to the. Because I have mine down right here.
I did have you a little lower, Bizzle, but mine, it was spur of the moment drafting. It was spur of the moment ranking.
I had
I ain't hurt. I don't think my team is dynamite, but I definitely don't think I'm like bottom three. So as long as you didn't hit me in the 8, 9, 10 range, we're good.
I had myself
No, no, no. Yeah.
I have myself a couple spots lower because I think my team is like I have the lowest points against, and I'm like above Loesch for points for, but not by like a crazy amount. I think my team is, you know, riding off of good vibes and Harambe's good graces. And hey, you know what? If I can do that all season, I'll take it. But I also think my team could end up getting better down the road with a couple people coming back from some things like getting a running back in the picture, like Jonathan Brooks. If he can come back healthy in the next few weeks, that could help. But I think my team overall right now is lower. I think my 2-1 is a little fraudulent, but if it's Harambe's vibes, then you can't really call that fraudulent. So I'm riding with it. I like my team. I like my players. I like Chris Godwin a lot. That dude's a stud. Um, but yeah, I have. We'll talk about him later. I have myself lower, and then aside from that, everything lined up pretty standard. I had everyone within a spot of where they were. So I had Cole last too, of course. But yeah, everyone's pretty much within a spot. So I have no grievances with how this shaped up.
I mean, looking at the trends just in general. Oh yeah, I see you had them both tied one. I didn't even notice that to begin with. Um, I uh I see Jordan. Jordan had the biggest fall to 5 spots down, I guess.
Yeah, I was ranking him higher
Him
last
and I
week.
almost flip flopped, I guess.
It was pretty close. I had him higher last week. He consistently ranks himself low on these, and I had
He's
him
just a
higher.
that
And
type of humble dude. Like
yeah, he
you
is.
gotta respect it, bro. His running backs though are doing really fucking nice.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, I had him at 6, so I had him a couple spots higher than this. Just because I do think his like James Cook is way, way, way better than I thought he would be this year. And Kyron is, I mean, he's got the number 4 and 5 running backs. Um, and some of his team, and I mean, dude, he bolstered his team with a good Tony Pollard trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I guess. Do you start with loser or winner? I don't know why I can't remember the
Yeah, I was
format of
jumping in. So, yeah, we can just break this down. So, what do you guys have? We'll start with Ted since you brought it up. Who is your winner of the week?
All right. Probably a little controversial. All right, put a lot of thought into this. My winner of the week is actually Milos Black.
Oh,
Um, so Milos, I think, is winner of the week because Tucker had a secret wedding without anybody knowing. Loesch only had to skip halfway through one wedding instead of two this week, which was huge. Um, so I think that's a huge win for him.
yep, yep.
No, okay, I'm fucking around. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna pick I like the delayed laugh, JB. Thank you. I'm gonna give my winner of the week to um I'll give it to Follow Spike. Not too much to it. Easy breezy. I mean, the grand scheme of things, Tuck's week wasn't a nightmare because I mean there was three other sub 100-point people and he did break 100, so uh he at least almost made Follow Spike work a little bit, but Follow Spike's running backs got 39, 29. His flex got 24. Tight end got 0. Still put up 152. I think that is a very, very nice win for Follow Spike. So it was a very comfortable one for him. Uh, so yeah, that was a quick win of the week for that boy.
Yeah, I don't dislike that. I mean, he absolutely popped off. Yeah, he would have beaten anybody. So, including
Last
Wardle,
one of the week.
which will be interesting. As they get closer to a matchup. But JB, who do you got as your winner?
I'm gonna have to give it to Lights Chimera Action. I think
Okay.
the bold play to continue just rostering more 49ers players on his team. Man, dropped what wound up being a solid tight end for me last week to pick this guy up. Took a flyer, and it did not blow up in his face. Jawan Jennings went off for what 3 touchdowns for
Oh,
42 points.
yeah.
Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson is back, scored over 30. And then what is little muse, Devin Singletary, over 18 points.
Him and Singletary have
Putting
this connection. I
down
don't know what it is.
putting down Mr. 2 times XP weekend, Matt, and extending himself to 3-0. I think he might be the only 3-0 team.
Yep.
So, that's a hot win. It's hot.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good win.
First in the West, not an unfamiliar spot.
Nope, not for him. But we'll see
No,
because
he's real sneaky. He's a snake and he slithers, huh?
he's risk game good, huh? Yeah. Uh, he he did have a good week. 142 is solid. And beating down on 2XP weekend, the fake Vikings fan, Aaron Rodgers lover, although he's not on his team anymore, is always a good victory to have. But my winner of the week does have to go to the man who won the bidding war to get the tight end that gave him 23 points. It's got to be JB. Um,
The massive bidding war.
the
Dude,
bidding war because
dude,
to get Dallas Goddard. Listen,
those are from me, bro. Those are from me. That was a good.
Thank you.
Yeah, my game. God damn. Yeah, that was a good pick.
and both of you won, and we can get to it later. But yeah, JB had a great snag off the waiver.
I guess we will get into it in the waiver segment. Yeah, we'll save it for that shit. But
For sure, for sure.
Eesh.
And I mean, you would have won either way. Ted, it didn't affect you to not get him, but this was,
Barely.
yeah, but this was a good win. I mean, 125 is solid. Two running backs in double digits. Tuck gave you a cuff that's now popping off. Um, your receivers didn't even do that great, and they're great receivers, so it's like a down week for them, and you still had 125. And your bottom half didn't do too hot either, but again, still putting up 125 when your defense and kicker, an investment in your team, I see, gives you a total of 4. And then on the other side, usually that's the game swinger when the other side is a total of 20 versus your 4 for the defense and kicker. But you prevailed by a lot. So, yeah, this was a good win. Um, could have started the
Was the
Lions
Avatar
defense,
hurt?
but it's what it is. What's that?
Was the Avatar hurt?
Avatar's dropped, I think, now, right? Didn't you
He's
drop him?
talking about
Taysom? Taysom
Taysom.
Hill?
I know he'll be on the waiver when I need him most. It's kind of like the real Avatar. I can put him in the damn iceberg.
That's true.
I just saw he had 0 points on your bench, so I was like, what the fuck was he doing?
Yeah, he was injured the week before, and I think he wasn't like officially out. But
Yeah, he didn't play.
they have decided that Derek Carr is a good quarterback, and they don't need his little gadget plays much anymore.
Kind of hate to see that, forgetting where you come from, but they're doing well, so I guess it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they lost. They did lose. So, without Taysom Hill playing,
Who'd they lose to?
the Eagles.
It's a great sign.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, great win for you. I think, and then explain. I think Jordan successfully did break this down, but what's the meaning behind your name again? Because I'm blanking on it from last week when Jordan talked about it.
You talking about me?
Yeah,
The patron saint of
Saint
ET,
Camillus.
right?
Yeah,
So
Or
what
the
was it?
patron saint of low T?
I that's right. I was praying for my enemy's downfall. No, I don't actually know how to say his name, but I got like some injuries stacked up on my team. Like my bench was full of Q and O people. I was like, damn, I feel like a hospital. So I looked at the patron saint of the injured and sick, and this is the one because I felt like I needed something to help my team out the following week, and it rewarded me. Keeping the faith.
You said your bench was full of QAnon people?
Oh,
Precisely, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool. And then you were playing
Strength in
against the
numbers or
QAnon
something
too.
like that.
Wow, impressive. Well, it worked because you got the dub. So
It did. Cannot complain.
So how about let's turn it into our losers of the week now. Let's see who took the fattest L's, and let's start with Teddy.
All right. My L of the week. Again, I'm here for the hot takes. I put a lot of thought into this. My L of the week is Sean. I know it's a big week for you, Sean, but I gotta hand you the L. And I'll explain why.
All right, let's hear it.
Like you said earlier, it's like you had a nice week, all right? Nobody can deny it. You had 109. It was a great week. You got the dub. Why I'm giving you L of the week is because when you looked, even today, when it affected the way you ranked your own team, you looked and saw that your points against is so fucking low.
Hmm.
And it's like you're out of the week because you faced a team that only put up 68 fucking points. It's like such a pitiful low amount that it's now affecting the way other people see your team. You face such a dog shit opponent that now your team looks bad in comparison because you're 2-1, but your points against is so low, dude. Fucked you over, dude. You won, but you lost at the same time.
So that's what
Loesch
makes
is
him the Sean Shafter. Not because he'd beat me, but because he would make my team look worse by losing so fucking bad. That
and
is
here I thought
whoa.
and here I thought
and I'm gonna win the league.
Oh, disgusting.
I rest my case.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I could have been up there with the right start. I also left. Wow, I left 24. I left 40, almost 44 points on the bench, putting Scary Terry in for JMO and putting a Chubb Hub in for Zamir White. So it could have looked like a lot better week if I had just thrown those guys in. I would have had a 150. Um, More than that, I would have had what 160 something if my math is right. No, 54 or something. So whatever it is, it would have been a really good week. And It doesn't look as good, and 68. I mean, that is fucking sorry. That is sorry as fuck. In our league right now, 68 points is ridiculously low. That's like, okay,
Yeah, in the
what did
grand
you
scheme of
leave?
things, you could have put some people in, but you would have beaten uh like half the league still this week. So it's like, but
Yeah.
yeah, anybody would have beaten this pitiful bitch. So
Yeah, no, that
I mean,
yeah.
that's what happens when you like your RB1 and RB2 put up less than 6 points together. It's just a tragedy in three parts.
Yeah, I mean single digits. I mean his kicker who gave him what, 20 the week before, gave him 0 this week. Volatile as fuck. So, yeah, I mean, what is you guys, quick side thing, what is you guys' take on Patty Mahomes now? Cuz remember last season he was not with Loesch. I like Patty Mahomes. I know we were talking in the group chat recently about players that like are connected to certain people. And I know for a couple years there, like the year I won the league, I did it with Patty, and then I had him another year, and like I finished third, and he had a good year. As soon as Patrick Mahomes touched Loesch's fucking team, like he was not anything special last year, I don't think. And
I
then this year
they're
he's
just
he's been
they're
off to a bad start.
The Chiefs are not that team anymore. Like you watch them play, they're not doing all these explosive pass plays. Really, they're a much more ball control, run the ball, type of team. They're not bombing it down to Tyreek Hill and Valdez Scantling or whoever the heck else used to be on the Chiefs. It just doesn't really look like that team anymore. And when you're looking from a fantasy perspective, when that's not happening, your quarterback's not going to look great, right? Like I
Right.
think Mahomes is still a great quarterback. He just the way the Chiefs are playing now, it's almost more like Patriots esque, I would say.
Yeah. I mean the guy threw 39 passes last week. He completed 26 of them, and he just barely cracked over 200 yards. Yeah, that's
I mean, you got to like step into Mahomes' shoes. If you like spent literally a couple years of your life, that's a significant portion of your life, like directly affiliated with subhuman filth, that fucking poisons you a little bit. Like it's like wearing the ring of power or something. Like it like sucks a little bit of your soul out. Um,
I
it's
was gonna,
only natural.
I was gonna suggest turning it back from JB making actual sense to let's talk about how Loesch has had him, and that's why he sucks. Because yeah,
Well,
that's
I think there's another part to this too that we're not considering. Like imagine if every time you went to do something at your job, you were always looking over your shoulder like, I wonder if Taylor saw that.
that's true.
That's
Like
a
you're
really
trying to
good point,
impress
dude.
you're trying to impress Taylor Swift so she'll give your boy Travis Kelsey a chance.
Now, but here's the issue
He's
though.
got the
Go ahead,
go
go
on.
ahead.
I was gonna say he has the Mahomes Kelsey stack has been fucking. You know what? Here's the thing. It's like, why am I giving him? I can't even give him shit for like Mahomes. He kept, but the rest of the people on his team, he didn't fucking draft this team. Like, what? Why am I even like giving this the time of day?
That's true. I mean, yeah, it's not his team.
We could
It's not
shit
his
on
So
him
team.
for Mahomes, but
I can
that's like,
also like the Kelsey thing. I watched a really good sports documentary the other day. Uh, y'all ever seen Rocky?
yeah.
No, yeah, not that I can remember any of it. No.
Well, it's based on a true story, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, this old Irish guy, his name's Mick. He's like, women weaken legs. And look what happened to Kelsey. Gets with Taylor Swift and just automatically he's ass.
Well, can we
I
also
can't
not
Yeah.
even say
forget
I'm
that?
shocked because the Kardashians did this to multiple basketball players in the NBA.
Yes.
Including your boy
I
Harden,
actually I think James Harden like broke up with who was that Chloe before it
Chloe.
got too bad.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
made a
Harden
good
just
point. Speaking of Rocky, um, in regards to Loesch's team, like, and why am I laughing? This is really serious. Loesch, like Rocky, spends too much time like in a closet beating meat instead of like focusing on his team.
talking to his turtles.
Oh,
Choking his turtle
God.
instead of. Uh,
Well,
yeah, who did Loesch trade for? Like, what was the one trade he made?
He traded for Najee Harris. He gave me Brock Bowers.
yeah. Which? Listen, I'm sorry. That's
What
what
did
a
Bowers do this
terrible
past week?
trade.
Najee Harris is the best performing running back this week. So
Najee Harris. How do you mean the best performing running back? Like,
on his team,
oh, on his team, yeah.
that's what I mean.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. No, most definitely. But I
So I'm
mean,
going to tell you what I told Cole when I traded him. Okay, well I'm gonna reveal some private conversation now, but I think it's okay. So he was interested in some of my running backs, and I asked him about his tight ends. He said, "Oh, I can't trade away Chiefs players because my girlfriend's a Chiefs fan." I
oh,
said,
What
"Okay."
the
Well,
fuck?
I
okay.
actually watched some football, and watching University of Georgia play, I knew Brock Bowers was that good. Like he's NFL ready.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
Well, he was
"Oh,
a
I need
first
Brock
round pick,
Bowers."
early round pick, right? Early first round.
I think
Oh, I
so.
don't know about the draft. I didn't watch that. I just know that he was tearing it
I
up
think people were
at
like, why did the
UGA.
Raiders pick this guy? But like this early because they didn't need that the baddest thing. But it's like the dude is like was one of the top talents in the draft. I think.
So he's like, I need a running back. I'm like, Najee Harris just got like 27 touches. Uh, Mike Tomlin likes to run the ball. So I told him, I'm like, this is a running back with guaranteed volume. I didn't say he was good. I said he got guaranteed volume. And look, like he put up solid flex slash RB2 numbers for him this week.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like the craziest trade because I don't think he'd be starting Brock very often anyway. If he really is like, oh, I got to start Chiefs players because my girlfriend likes the Chiefs. And that's after, by the way, he got on to somebody about this not being an emotional thing. Wasn't that like one of his points in a podcast earlier?
yeah. He got on to
Oh,
me
you got to
about
give
it.
him a chance. You got to give him a chance. What is it? Dude, come on. Like, you can't blame Sean for that and then pull that as a reason to make some boneheaded trade.
Also, if we're talking about that, like, because you're making a good point. Like, Mahomes was not like I can't even think of how he did in fantasy last year. It wasn't like mind blowing though, right?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Like,
No, it wasn't.
probably not worth a second round pick, right?
No,
Like the
not from
only
last
picks he
year.
made in his team, he kept Mahomes because his girlfriend made him. Like he didn't
I
even
think
make the picks he took.
I think the only good early pick quarterbacks are ones that run the ball in.
Yeah,
If you don't have a quarterback that rushes touchdowns, they're not worth a first 4 round pick, in my opinion.
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with
Our
that.
league, I think, is a little more friendly for passing quarterbacks, but running quarterbacks are the cheat code always for sure. Um, like back in the day, like early rounds of our league, like when Mahomes, but yeah, even like Mahomes prime, like Lamar Jackson prime is like gonna like blast him out the water. So, or I don't
Definitely.
know, but
So, but if he says that
yeah,
his
yeah.
girlfriend's a Chiefs fan, could his girlfriend be Wardle?
Could be, yes.
And if that is the case, is this like, is there like a level of collusion here a little bit? Like, that, I don't know.
Sean, did you hear what happened when we were trying to go meet his girlfriend?
Um,
Did you hear about this thing that happened?
something about like the introductions for the wedding were about to start, and so you guys went
Yeah, dude, we
back.
were walking out and your mom looked me in the eye and was like, we're about to walk. I was like, all right. And we turned right back around, dude.
Yeah.
Loesch did not hear a word about where we went. I was just like, yeah, we can't make it, bro. My bad.
He saw everything go down. He must have known because it was when y'all were walking across the dance floor, like into the dinner party, basically. Um, yeah, yeah. The
Nuts.
timing was really fucking fun though, and he embarrassed us. We like look like fools trying to walk out, and then I have to scurry back in.
Yeah,
I
very
don't know.
weird thing.
I didn't
No,
really feel
no,
embarrassed about that.
no. We it wasn't, but he almost embarrassed us, and I will resent him for that. No, not really. Because then I think didn't somebody wander up to the like somebody saw the girlfriend 'cause they just happened to be like taking a piss at the time. They're like, "Y'all made Lucia's girlfriend?" We're like, "No, we didn't."
Oh, well. I think we
My
yeah, who's your
my
loser of the
loser of the
week?
week. My loser of the week. I think it's gotta be Young Va.
Oh, Va. Not Va.
This guy's team, man. Jalen Hurts put up a little stinky, a little stinky.
The
Garrett
stinker.
Wilson, I don't think he's performing up to his draft pedigree. Devontae Adams is kind of looking like just a guy out there. He decided to absolutely obliterate the last team they played. I can't remember who that was, and then get beaten by the Carolina Panthers. Like what?
Yeah.
Devonta Smith, that was really unfortunate what happened with the targeting. That was kind of an insane play. He was getting drugged back and ate an absolute ballistic missile helmet. But when you got your RB2 putting up over 20 points, that's the type of week you'd expect to win.
Right.
But Vaughn didn't even put up over 100, and he had plenty of points sitting on his bench. Like that's just tragedy.
Yeah, Va had a
Um,
rough week.
yeah, and honestly, it was kind of a close game going into the last day or two. I mean, going into the Monday night game with Chase playing, it was like 50-50 almost. Or maybe I had like 60 or something, but it was still kind of up in the air. Um, yeah, honestly, I mean, when uh we were having drinks on Friday night, um, me, Jordan, Va, and Krishma, and talked to fantasy and Va. It's like our score was basically like a 50-50 game after well, that was just off the Thursday night. I think we had some Thursday action going on. Um, so, but yeah, I guess I lucked out, but it was like a low scoring week for a few people. Um, but where Va really fucked up, I guess, was kind of confusing why he dropped Goddard. Um, his Goddard was his tight end, right?
Yeah, I think
No, Goddard was Wardle.
Oh, really?
was
Yeah,
he Wardles? I'll have to check that. I
I
don't.
You're right.
am
That's
pretty
my fault.
positive.
You're right. You're right. My bad.
Okay, because
Although I guess anybody could have picked him up, but
can
yeah,
I
no, it
just
was Bortles.
can I just throw in at that point then that Wardle has just got an embarrassment of riches because he dropped two 20-plus players. He dropped Chubb Hub, and I picked him up, and he put up 28. Like Wardle's just got an embarrassment of riches that he can
I
just
mean,
drop these starters.
when Bortle dropped Goddard, he was already like the number 4 ranked tight end, or maybe not that high, but no, no, no. I'm sorry, not scoring wise, but like when you looked at how the analysts were ranking. Oh, they say like, oh, I think this is gonna be the 4th best guy this week.
Right,
Goddard
right.
was
Right.
like in the top 5 or whatever, top 10 at least. So
Wardle is
I was like,
addicted to pits. That's the problem. He's addicted to pits.
That's yeah. It's unhealthy.
And I'm not going to throw stones from a glass house because I got my own problems on my team. But
I mean, Wardle's going with his gut, and his gut hit on Jennings. His gut hits on all these other people. His gut might just if he's going with his gut, and his gut says Pitts. You gotta you gotta take some. Like obviously, it's working out in the grander scheme. So,
Yeah,
and one of these days, I bet you when one of us plays Wardle, Pitts fucking goes off for fucking 20. So
it's bound to happen at some point. Big. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Was it Pitts that Kirk was trying to hit for the game-winning touchdown against the Chiefs that he got robbed with no pass interference when he was
yeah,
blatantly
that
just
was
all over
Pitts.
him. So I mean,
Yep.
Pitts gets that, and I mean you're looking at a double-digit week. So
I think. Oh, in my game against Va, I think what helped too is that no, it didn't make a huge difference, but if I remember, the Ravens D had been holding Dallas, like they were kind of squishing Dallas early on, and then Dallas started to finally start scoring touchdowns, and then his that D score went down, 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 so it was like 5. So
right,
he started out pretty good on defense too, and I don't remember if Elliott didn't do shit. I can't remember if he. Yeah, Elliott missed a kick. It was only a 50-yarder, but yeah, he didn't do shit that game. And he left Rasheed Rice on the bench with 24. He left Dunze on the bench with 21.
Yeah, and let me just say, after roasting him last week for sitting Devontae because you have to start your studs, let me just roast him now, saying, "What the fuck are you doing starting Devontae? How are you not going to start Rashi Rice? Come on, and Romeo Dunze, come on, like those are the guys you want to start.
Which
Like, come
Devontae
on, Va.
Adams?
Yeah, Devontae Adams. Because last week the argument was start your studs. Like you drafted Devontae, it's Devontae. We know the talent's there. You just have to start him. But now, Va, I mean, come on, get some sense. Rashi Rice on the bench is ridiculous at this point. It is. So Garrett Wilson at this point too. I mean, something's
Yeah,
going
I mean,
on there.
Rice had already kind of proven himself a little bit.
He had a couple good weeks there. I don't know about the Bears wide receiver. I think that was his first decent week. But I mean, that
He was like, I think he was like a giant prospect from like a year ago or something. He might be the same as like the Komet thing, where it's like, all right, if Caleb Williams is actually figuring out if their Bears new offense does actually have a sign of life, then maybe he'll be something in the future. But he still should have started him. Obviously,
of course. I mean,
you should
yeah,
be starting the player that scores the most amount of points.
exactly, exactly. So if you're not doing that, what are you doing? Um,
Because Chase Brown, he's a very ambiguous fellow.
yeah, him and
That's all I'm gonna
him
say
and
about that.
Zach Moss are splitting
He
stuff.
kind of has like
So
a Bad Bunny vibe.
a bad bowling. Well,
Babuni?
Chase Brown. What? Maybe.
Gus Edwards looks extremely friendly. David David Njoku looks like he'd be an inmate in Orange is the New Black.
Let me see.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Like,
What do you mean by
because
that?
because he has long hair, he looks like he'd be in a female's penitentiary.
Oh, oh, okay.
Have you seen the show? It's like there's a clientele.
You say he looks like a lesbian? I get you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
someone who looks like a lesbian, my loser of the week is gonna have to be. Oh,
It's kind of give that Puerto Rican vibe. I'm sorry. I'm looking at him.
um, it's gonna have to be cooking up a gamer, Jay Dry, and you know what I'm talking about because he even said it with that picture of him and his cake from sophomore
Well,
year.
that wasn't his team name during the week, right? We got to
No, it was
refer to him
not.
by his
No,
by
his
his name
team
when he took
name
the
was the
L, I
Hobblin'
think.
Doblin, but he changed it.
Oh yeah, the
So
Hobblin' Doblin took the L.
yeah, Hobblin' Doblin took the L. He's trying
He
to
wasn't
switch it up by
hobbling with
cooking
his
it up.
jaw. I'll tell you what.
And look, I know I'm piggybacking off the same game here, but I just want to emphasize this, and I want to take a minute to roast my co-host while he's not here to say anything back. Um, how are you not going to start Jared Goff? Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Look at that shit. 20 point. He doubled. He doubled Derek Carr's point total there. Derek Carr, come on, man. Like, we all knew that Derek Carr was having a couple good weeks. He's serviceable, but we know he's more of the 10 guy than he is the 32 guy. We know this is true. So,
Sean, I just need to pause for 1 second. Have you seen a game the Lions played this year where Goff didn't throw a boneheaded interception?
listen, I think,
Because I feel like every game I've watched for Jameer Gibbs, he's thrown a terrible interception.
did he throw a terrible interception last game against the Cardinals? I don't remember him throwing an interception last game.
It should have been a pick six. That was, sorry, but
Well, listen, he's still putting up a nice 20 interceptions. One. He's got Yeah, he had the one interception and two. Yeah, so he's thrown four interceptions in 3 games. He's having a tough start, but it's looking up because he's hit 20, and it's going to keep going up. So I think that Jordan needs to start throwing Jared Goff back into the mix here. But he started Derek Carr, and he gave his reasoning, telling me over text that he's picked up waiver ads before and not started them and regretted it, so he wanted to start Carr, but it did not work out. James Cook is looking like a great pick for
Sounds
the
like
number 4
Drizzy was
running
on the
back.
defensive about this L.
Yeah, yeah, he's this one hurt him for sure. But
I can give
Ridley,
you a little bit of some background noise too for this L of the week.
okay,
So I think Jordan and I made it pretty much all the way to the end of the afternoon games before he got to taunt me with the first touchdown between the two of us.
really,
Like we were down bad, dude. Yeah, it was to like 4 o'clock and he sent me the first taunt. This
yeah,
was a garbage match.
yeah. This.
So,
It's a rough week.
you guys obviously see how I take a lot from like clicking on the player and seeing like what they look like. Obviously, from bringing up these last few players, right? So, one issue I have with Drizzy's team, player wise, just looking at them, um, is I'm looking at this one player on his team, Bears Dist. I clicked on it. It's like a cartoon, dude. It's like a fucking cartoon bear. Like, what the fuck is that? I wouldn't be starting a weirdo looking like that. I don't know. Like, bitch probably spent most of the game looking for a picnic basket and letting all the TDs fucking run right by. I don't know. I just
I
ain't
don't have
having
the ability to put players side by side, but is Derek Carr's forehead approaching Manning status?
it. I think.
I think it's
Oh
starting to get
shit!
there. Yeah, it is.
I had noticed that. It's because he's got kind of. If you look right above his brow, he's getting that like cave. I think the concussions have knocked his like little. He's getting a little caveman brow going, and uh, yeah, he's got that like. I think they said it in one of the roasts where Peyton Manning is like the evolution of the human being to not need a
Cro-Mag.
football helmet. Um, I was
Jared
looking at
Goff on his
Drizzy's
way.
team. Did did no did Jordan put like a fucking middle school water boy on his team? Who the fuck is Lad McConkey? Lad McConkey.
Lad
Lad
McConkey? You
McConkey.
don't know who that
He,
is?
look, he looks like a child. Is
He's out
he?
of
Is he?
UGA.
Who is he playing next? He hasn't played Sean, and he's like trying to tempt him or something. Is he?
Let's just go ahead and hit you with a um, yeah, this young
Also, is
lad McConkey.
AJ Brown's name is close. I'm clicking on his pic. Is he like trying to evolve into Antonio? Like Antonio's his final evolution, right?
Oh, that's
Ripping off
pretty
his
good.
pads
Yeah,
and all.
the stash. Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Also, Calvin Ridley looks like somebody I can't put my finger on it. Maybe he just looks like Calvin Ridley. They all look the same. What?
Huh?
Oop.
Huh?
Yo, also, is there a that's interesting. Speaking of, we're keeping it 100. It's 2024, people. Come on now. I know Sean's got his finger on the record button. Um, there's not a single black kicker in the league, is there? No, I don't think about that much. I
I,
guess it's like the white cornerback type of thing, but because we got like an Asian, there's like Tommy Fairbairn is supposed to be like Hawaiian or something.
yeah,
There's
something
some
like that.
diversity, but I guess there
So,
was like
you know that
there
old
there used to
saying,
be
it's
that
like
one black punter, right? But that's
those
about
who
it.
can do, and those who can't teach. It's like
Right.
those who can play football, and those who can't are kickers.
Fair.
Yeah. Well,
Fair.
one way or
Apparently
another.
Marquette King is the NFL's only. Oh, that's a punter, not even a place kicker.
So there are
Marquette King, he was
no
the one I was
black
thinking about.
kickers.
He I feel like I remember him being pretty good. I don't know. Um, yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Um, we just
Well,
make observations out here. We're like you know, we're a
no,
very introspective pod.
no, your analysis is in depth as it goes. So it's good. It's information that the people need. So
I think we'd know if there was a black kicker because if there's not one on EC Brucey's team, then there's not one in the league.
that's a fair point. EC Breezy, if there was, would seek him out. I mean, EC Breezy right now he's got Harrison Butker, but Yeah, he's got his team is like the opposite of Jordan's for the most part.
Dude,
Um,
I'm looking at Tuck's team and I'm just wishing he would pook on my Nakua. Oh man.
Until you cup.
hey,
Wait, so what was the trade? Tuck got Brock, and that was what it was. It was
It
between
was
Tuck and
deeper than
Lush.
that.
no,
No, I traded Najee Harris for Brock Bowers. Then I traded Brock Bowers, T. Higgins, and uh Ty, the backup for the Vikings, Ty Chandler, I think, for Zach Charbonnet, which is my handcuff for Kenneth Walker, Nick Chubb, and George Pickens.
yeah. So
TLDR, you're wheeling and dealing.
yeah, you art him is what happened.
Shop's always open. Shop's always open.
All right,
Maybe the shop
fuck you,
can be
Matt.
open to do the first live trade for Harambedome. A three teamer.
That's not true.
Oh,
Me and
which one do
Jordan
we
traded
do?
players on air once, so yeah.
Well,
It was
I will
secretly
say
we did like a bench trade and traded it back in the same episode,
oh, I remember
just
that.
to like
Yeah,
see your reaction.
yep, I do remember
Sean was trying to entrap me earlier today on a little trade action.
that. I was, I was,
I I
go ahead.
quote, Sean, do you think Dak for Allen would be a fair trade? I have a feeling about him. And I'll tell you what, my mouth started to salivate, but I couldn't like let him know because like Sean's not an idiot, but maybe he really was having a feeling. I told him, I said, send whatever you think is fair and we'll work from that. He wouldn't send it. He wouldn't send it.
I was sending screenshots to Jordan. I was like, let's see how much JB hates me. and, but you didn't. You were very political. That's what you said. You said, send what works. And I was hoping I would get you to bite and be like, oh, that is, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. That's a fair trade. Um, but no, you were gonna let me do it to myself though if I was actually thinking that. But no, I did try to
Fucked up.
bait. I did try to bait.
All right, I'm gonna look at our next week 4.
Yeah, guys, let's
Thank
take a look at the
God.
off of this
You like
topic and
me?
onto.
This is my MO. I send us on a ridiculous tangent for a long time and then be like, all right, next thing up to make it look like I'm waiting on y'all.
It's slick and it's working, and I'll tell you right now, the viewers are going to appreciate it later. So thanks to that.
Hey, whenever you guys start
what
doing this live, we can do that on YouTube.
what is the if the viewers are clapping, what is the last rank on the power ranking saying?
oh, oh,
I thought you were gonna do it.
oh, I got
I don't
you.
have the soundboard pulled up.
I have it right here.
And I'm gonna win the league.
Well, I'll be
Oh,
honest. I'm going to take the low hanging fruit on this one. My matchup of the week is Follow Spike versus Light Chimera action.
oh shit.
We got the
Yep,
Juggernauts facing off.
yep.
Like, this is where we'll really see. We had them tied for first this week. This is where we'll really see who should be number one, I think.
I agree. And I didn't even realize they were matching up this week. I was alluding to them matching up in the future earlier. And they have a matchup this week. I'm excited. I'm excited to see who wins this one. Um, and actually, Wardle's 3-0. But one thing I like to go back and look at when I'm matching up against someone is how many times leading up to the week I'm playing them I would have beaten them had I played them. And so, like for example, Wardle. Um, it might take me just a second to look at it, but Wardle 160 to Dad's 128 week one. Um, he's got 141 to Dad's 116 week two, and then Dad outscored him 152 to 142 week three. So Wardle, if they had matched up any earlier, Wardle gets a couple of them. So I'm very interested to see how it works out in week 4 here with this juggernaut matchup. I'm super excited for this one too.
Looks like Dad's got the edge, projection wise.
And
Yeah,
he's supposed to win.
yep. He's got a well-rounded team, man. So that'll be a really good one to see how it plays out. I think
on the
I'm
edge of
taking
my
Dad.
seat.
I'm taking Dad. Wait, you're edging your seat?
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Dad. We'll see though. We'll see how it goes. I would like to see the undefeated fall. Because if I can handle my own business, that could put me in contention for top of the West. So, Teddy, who do you have as your matchup of the week?
Oh my god, I wasn't. Oh my god, I gotta figure this out. All right, I got it. All right,
Dude, the West is a bloodbath division. Dude. That's a strong division.
isn't it have like worst? Aren't there like worst? More aren't there more 1 and 2 teams?
Let me see the standings. Let me pull it up.
Because I had to look at it because I was like confused being in a division with more winners.
So
And I'm not used to that.
there are more 1 and 2 teams, but the East has the only winless team and Loesch.
Damn.
So that is pretty rough.
Oh god. All right, I'm gonna go for my matchup of the week. It's going to be um a dude who, I'm gonna be honest, we've picked on him a lot tonight. Um, so I'm gonna go for his matchup. Um, so we could see him make a complete ass of himself again and take a fat L to Captain Dr. Vava. Um, and if the word league meant deucing, then
And I'm gonna win the league.
that's but yeah, I think this would be an interesting matchup, all jokes aside. Obviously the bottom of our league is just as enticing as the top at times. Um, and Va is a 1 and 2 squad. But we still have him ranked like 6 on the power rankings, which isn't too shabby. So this will be a chance to see if Va gets really knocked down into the shit of the league and has to crawl out. Um, enemy for Loesch, we get to really if he loses, then he'll be even like we'll see if Loesch actually takes that downslide that we all been prophesizing. Um, and as of now, Va has the edge by 11 points. Um, I
There's
don't know if
actually a
that's
lot.
going to change with any bench players, but I don't really know. But I mean, if anything, Va can throw Devontae Smith in and maybe add a few projection points. But Va's team seems to have the edge in a lot of it.
Did I just hear a
Blaze just
kitty?
got. Yeah, she's getting a little thorny in the dark. Maybe she can sense the hurricanes trying to get a little last minute action before we die.
Jesus.
Maybe she's trying to
But
remind
yeah,
you that Survivor's in 20 minutes.
dude, that's the like going to be the worst thing. This storm can like take my house, but I have a bad feeling that the live Survivor's just going to be like the local CBS station showing the weather map,
Oh,
and I'm just going to run into the storm with a golf club. Like, fucking take me now.
so
Yeah,
Old
that's
man
my
yells at a
matchup.
hurricane. More
no,
news at 11.
it'll be a good one. That'll be a good matchup. That could be considered. I don't know if
I
you'd
mean,
call
yeah,
that a toilet bowl,
in the
but
grand scheme, like Vava does have. uh It looks like in the league this week, there's sort of an upper echelon like 20 plus projections, and there's some people like in the one teens.
yeah.
Um, with Matt being the exception, Matt is at sitting at 130. Um, and Vava is at a 124, so he's got a pretty decent projection. And we know how much projections matter.
Oh, so much, so much. Well, similar to what? Oh, you know what? All right, so I'll give a quick shout
No.
out. I'll give a quick shout out to my matchup. You could consider this a toilet bowl because of my points for and Tuck's record. It's also now it's the two newlyweds duking it out the week after to see who can catch a dub here. Um,
Is this kind of like whoever wins can see other one's wife?
I was so. Here's what I was thinking. Here's what I was
You
thinking.
know, you didn't say no, so that's pretty crazy.
No, because I want to say here's what I was thinking. What if the winner of this matchup gets naming rights to the other one's kid? Because obviously Tuck's got one on the way soon, and then somewhere down the line, Deanna and I will. So what if this matchup, since we both just got married, could be naming rights for the first child?
Dude, y'all have the opportunity to do the funniest thing. Loser has to get a divorce.
Oh man. Well, I feel bad for Tuck because I'm coming
The 1
after him
week
this week,
marriage would
baby.
go crazy.
And I'm gonna get to name his kid. So, and I'm naming his kid Jason. So, but my actual matchup that I'm interested, that's not mine, is I'm interested in the Rumi Bowl taking place this week between the two guests on the show right now, Alave Garden and St. Camillus de Lillis. This matchup is going to be a good one. 2-1 trying to extend to 3-1, and a 1-2 trying to get to 500. You always love a good Rumi clash. I think the matchup looks juicy with Jamar Chase and CD Lamb. I'm expecting to both have big games. I don't know why Jamar Chase has got that questionable though, but it looks like Kittle's back
Probably some
potentially,
nonsense.
and
Hopefully,
then
he was like just dropped out of the last game for no reason. So
yeah, but Zach Charbonnet's been filling in great. Um, and so I just like this matchup all the way up and down. The two receivers in the flex who Deontay Johnson had a great game. He had a great game with the Red Rocket. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I think there was an episode where they were laughing at the $6 bid for him on not opening waiver day. But yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes you know stuff.
I guess sometimes you do know stuff. And this
He's probably never going to crack 10 again now that I've like flaunted it, but
and listen, this also I know it was a last week a last week ad, but Dallas Goddard here. This was the Duke it out the waiver wire tight end Duke out, and it could be a difference maker this week. So I'm very interested to see how this one plays out. A lot of storylines brewing.
damn, bro, that's tough though. Like, I'm looking at the position ranks. That's like Bizzle's only got two guys in the top 10. That's pretty sad.
Ooh,
my
well,
But
players
good
haven't
though, bro.
shown their potential yet.
shots
My
fired.
players just haven't shown their
Shots fired.
potential yet.
Yeah, no, this game should be juicy. Yeah, I'm looking at this wide receiver matchup. This might be because we got wide receiver in the flex. Also, this could be like the best wide receiver matchup of the week.
I think I've really started leaning towards the flex wide receiver deal.
It
Flex wide.
There's
is.
You
just a
like that?
lot
You
more
like that
options
better?
at wide receiver.
I think in our league it's hard because I always preferred having like someone who's at least in a good timeshare situation at running back in my flex at minimum, if not like a starter, even a low end starter. But it's hard in our league because our league with especially with keepers now too, and just everybody's on a good, pretty level playing field. I feel like except for maybe auto drafters, but I think. Yeah, I think receivers in the flex are starting to work out pretty okay for a lot of people. I mean, I've got one in the
I've been
flex right
liking it
now.
too. I've been
Yeah.
liking it too because it's like you can watch a game and it's like all it takes is like three catches for a wide receiver to hit a nice floor that like what I
Hmm.
mean if whatever running back you're throwing in your flex unless you're like the deepest team in the league chances are that's like someone who's like option B on a random team you're just like hoping for
Yeah, we're not all
some
dad,
some
unfortunately.
Yeah.
hoping for some vulture touchdown and so yeah, I've been digging the especially yeah if you got like Deontay Johnson there then you got a chance for like all three wide receivers to get 20 plus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a
But yeah,
good
it should be a good matchup. We're both our JB's 1 and 2 in the West, and the West is a scary place.
this is.
I caught my first loss was a bad loss. I was still over like 120. I barely lost to some stuff. Like I really view myself as a 2-1 team. It doesn't say that, but I don't feel like a 1-2 team.
I wouldn't call you a 1-2 team either. Honestly, I've always liked the look of your team. I think you've just caught a couple tough L's, but
A long season.
Yeah, agreed.
but we'll have to see if another
What
one's
comes
coming.
next? Are we on Shakaroni? Are we
Not
on
yet,
burning
not
up
yet.
yet?
So let's get through the free agents offers report real quick. I can speed through first
Yeah,
couple.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I know Ted's got a big
I need a
quarrel with
power
these
nap.
segments.
Need a power nap.
No, dude, I've got so many good thoughts on every segment.
So let's
It's so much
I love
easier
the
to get through
segs,
this
bro. I
episode
love
when you
the
can look
segs.
over and see the El Harambe just staring back at you.
Shut the fuck up. What day are you starting on these reports?
I started on Thursday, September 19th, the day after.
All right.
We go through all of them. So
Time to play the game.
there were some money ads, but some low money ads on Thursday. Last Thursday, you had 2XP weekend adding Carolina's receiver Xavier Legette, who's the wrong one to get because it was Deontay Johnson that we ended up popping off.
Have y'all
We
heard Leggett talk?
no, I haven't.
Dude sounds like a country bumpkin.
I have his picture pulled up right now. Country
He's good
bumpkin.
though. He's a good player.
Is he a
Dude
rookie?
looking like Leggett Lanius. That's a new Vegas joke, baby. I don't even remember what that guy looks like, but I remember this dude.
He's the guy who's wearing a golden mask, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
JB
What'd
added
you
the
say
Bucks
about
defense.
Jay, we got the Bucks deal?
Yeah, were you
Is his
gonna
name
add something?
Little
Grind?
trap.
No, I thought he
Yeah.
was about to say something about Xavier earlier.
No. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Grind. What is the meaning behind your grind, JV, for your little?
So that was back when I was in Gruden's Grinders with the famous
Wow.
pictures.
Throwback. Throwback.
Back when John Gruden was ending racism.
Yeah. Okay. That's an old one. So
But
you've
yeah,
left it ever
GRND
since.
your grind.
We have 2XP weekend adding Sam Darnold and beating out Follow Spike, who's been trying to get a quarterback since Baker and has not been able to do it because he keeps getting beat out in bids. And then you have EC Breesy getting Darnell Mooney. You have
Arnold for $1 is like a fucking steal.
Darnold. Yeah, I mean, how did he do
Yeah,
last
that
week? Let
could.
me see his numbers.
He had a nice week. He's
Oh
position
yeah,
ranked
Darnold went
4 over the
crazy,
year.
like 4 touchdowns, I think.
He had
oh
like
yeah, he's
31 points after a 28-point week. I mean, he's been 4 touchdowns last week.
well. That is a steal. Look at that
He's
quarterback
getting it
4.
done.
That's a crazy stat. Also, 4 touchdowns and like less than 200 yards, I think, or less than 250 yards.
Less than 200. He had 180.
I mean, yeah, if
Can't
he,
argue efficiency, but
there's a lot of, I mean, shit. There's been looking around these past few weeks. The QB numbers in our league have been ass. So that
Yeah.
that is solid. I would take that all day. My wide receiver number's been bad, but that's why I'm switching up with my boy Jaden.
Yeah, no, that is a steal. Uh, at some point, Jordan added Keontae Ingram for $0, and I added Skylar Thompson. That did not last long because I
Hey, explain
dropped
to
him
me
the next
this.
day. Um,
Oh shit. Hey, speaking of, where we were talking about Jordan earlier and his
yes.
new name, cooking up a gamer.
Yep.
Um, I don't understand this shit at all. The photo is him with like Vava's pick in the pot. He doesn't play Va though, right?
No, I was confused too because I don't know if he messed because he's playing 2XP weekend, so that makes
well,
sense,
he's playing Kyler Murray, right? So
right? And he's playing he's playing Matt's team. It's 2XP weekend, so cooking up a gamer, but he's using Va's image, so I don't know. I don't know about that. That confused me too. I guess he's not here to defend himself, so we could just say he messed up until he says
Yeah, if he
otherwise.
can't defend himself, like we'll just say like he's actually brain dead for making such a stupid mistake.
Yeah, just a fucking idiot. Just an
Like,
idiot.
dude, he pulls that shit one more week and he might find himself down there with Loesch just
Oh,
on
oh,
principle. JK, unless.
unless, oh.
Maybe
Well,
he's doing it
Wait,
because he just
how is it Vaugh's picture?
isn't Vaughn the little Iron Man photo.
Vaz got the Captain Dr. Vava Iron Man.
I'm
Like
so
inside the pot.
confused. Like
Va-
what?
Vava's team logo and for his team in this league is that little.
Oh, okay. If you look at the power rankings, is it the same one still? I guess it is. Yeah. Okay. No excuses. Yeah, I had to really zoom in there. Whoever the fuck found that out is doing his digging.
Yeah.
Me? No, I'm looking at his photo on the computer.
Yeah, I think maybe he just made a mistake. I don't know. But he needs to get called
Also,
out for it.
one thing about this league it's shit. I'm gonna save this for my grind my gears. Although it's not NFL related.
That's
Will the
okay.
Shakaroni be allowed? Okay. Yeah,
It's
I'll
okay.
save
You
it
can
for that
save it. You
segment.
can save it.
Thank you. Talk me
So
off the edge. I was about to snap.
yeah, let's go to the next day. So I put down money on a Friday because I saw a starting running back, Chuba Hubbard, and he actually someone else bid on him, Jordan, for $0. I added him for 5. My running back core is weak as shit when with Pacheco hurt, Top Gecko, and so I wanted to make sure I had him, and so I picked him up, and he on my bench threw up 28 points. So luckily that didn't cost me. But now I have a running back I feel like I can trust until, and I already he's a cuff to the rookie who I drafted who was injured. So it just ended up that pick worked for me. Um, and then you have Vava adding Dalton Schultz doing the dropping Colby Parkinson to get Dalton Schultz, and then um, Tuck unable to process. Oh, this was I think Ted. Did I message you about this?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
you
I wanted to
did.
talk about this shit. So Tuck tried to pick up Donta Foreman, but was unsuccessful because he was unable to process rosters are locked. And last week there was a Thursday game, and the people on his roster, and let me go back to it so I can see it. It means he was trying to drop someone who was already locked in his roster. And last week, I believe the who played last Thursday? Who was it that played? On Thursday because it was the Jets and the Patriots, and Alan Lazard and Brees Hall were the only two players locked, meaning it was Alan Lazard. He must have been trying to drop, and because he has no Patriots, and so that means he must have put in a drop claim before the game started. But then that must mean that if it locks, like if you put the claim in early on a Thursday and then the game is played, that player's locked and you're unable to then drop them, right? I mean that's
Yeah, you can't move players that have played or
right.
scored points. I
But
guess
the
I
the
should say.
game must not have started yet, right? So he must have put the claim in with Alan Lazard being dropped before the game had started, so he was able to do it. But then yeah, then he had a blunderous move where he was unable to add this guy because the
I
game
Yes.
do
got
want to.
played.
I do want to use this as the opportunity. I did secure this. I secured this sponsorship, Tuck. With that move, you are officially the first Morgan and Morgan Tard of the week.
Morgan and Morgan Tart of the week. Oh, where'd it go?
Which in this case, you could call him Alan Latard.
Which is, Zard put up decent flex numbers too. He was dropping them for nothing.
He was dropping it for nothing. And Donta Foreman put up .7. So Tuck was saved by his own stupidity on that one.
Hoisted by
Um,
his own petard.
and then on Saturday, this is when you had the Juwan Jennings ad for $6, dropping Dallas Goddard there, leaving him up to waivers. And this is when we get to the very, very interesting Sunday.
What happened that day? What caused him to put a sixer on there? He just
That's a
was there
great
like a
question.
did somebody get downgraded or something?
I think Debo got
Jawan
downgraded.
Jennings.
Debo
Or,
must
or
have
was
gotten
or,
downgraded.
or was that the day that like Wardle source releases their article and he thinks other people might have read it the same day too. I know Wardle's got something, dude. He's like,
Yeah,
there's something
he's
fishy.
out there in LA, like he's not far. I know he's got something cooking there.
He's greasing up some palms with his smeg.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
all right, yeah. We're on Sunday then.
Yeah, and Sunday
It's a
gets
juicy little
interesting
week.
because this we referenced earlier. Um, a duke out for that dropped tight end Dallas Goddard, and now we're looking at a snipe. Ted gets sniped by JB by $1 to add Dallas Goddard. So go ahead. What's going through both your heads when this happens? Because this ended up being massive and could have implications for this week in your matchup.
Dude, let me tell you how dumb this was. So James told Ted when we were at the hotel bar, he's like, "Oh yeah, Dallas Goedert's on the waiver, by the way." And Ted was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "I know this MF Ted is going to put a $1 bid on it based off
You
his history."
bastard.
I put a
You
$2
bastard.
bid. Just snagged him up,
Oh.
dude. I had my little spiders or birds or whatever they're called. I forget what Vars calls them. I had them out.
No, yeah, yeah, what was going through my head was we'll blame this on Sean a little bit for having a wedding and everything, but I think that um Kittle had already been downgraded like out of nowhere. I don't remember him getting hurt during the game. Mind you, I probably wasn't following it, but
I think it
I
said he had a
was like,
hamstring injury or something, right?
it might have been groin or something. I can't remember. Um, it could have been hammy. Maybe I'm just, I usually have his groin on the mind, but um, but I meant to add somebody, I think, on Friday, but it totally slipped my mind. I guess one too many Crown and Pepsis with Drizzy up at the Conquistador. Um, and then Sunday or Saturday, I was like, oh shit, I'm like, I cannot forget to do this or I'm going to have nobody on my roster. I guess Wardle did say that probably. I also saw this as like, oh God, it's like, I have George Kittle. He's having a great year. So I'm like, I just need somebody to get me through the week. Mind you, I've been playing the waivers way too safe. Most of these $1 bids are on people I don't really care. It's like, all right, just throw me any of these people. That was very stupid. Clearly, Goddard put up. I mean, what he had well over 100 yards.
24 points, I think.
Yeah.
23.
Yep. 23 points. 170 yards.
That's
Excuse me.
nuts. That is nuts.
Um. So I was like, when I saw those points going up, like my game versus Bob was stressful, and it's like, yeah, because I ended up like we see here picking up Colby Parkinson was the backup, and he had like a pretty paltry couple like handful of points, so it was like great. And as you could see, the backup after that was Muth. I was about to pick him up and then let him loose.
Which is natural.
And
It's
then
only natural.
I couldn't pass up trying to get some Strange as well. Um, so maybe this is an insight into how tipsy I was when I put in these. I thought that there was a chance that Goddard, Parkinson, and Muth were all going to get picked up on Saturday night. So I made sure to put a fourth one in.
And I
But
I
yeah.
understand Goddard first. I cannot understand Parkinson over the ability to pick up Muth to then let him loose or to get Strange. I'm not sure why Parkinson would come before those two, but
That
it
can
is
all
what it
be,
is.
dude. I don't know. It was a high vibes day with the boys. Fantasy foolishly was not top on my mind. I don't know. When the henny got busted out under that table, everything went out the
Dude,
window.
that was crazy. I can't believe y'all were drinking that shit. That stuff is garbage.
At least it was
Well,
cold.
what was it? It was a mix of henny and Red Bull, right?
Diet Red
Oh,
Bull.
that's just
Dude, no,
disgusting. That's
JB.
vile.
To be fair, dude, I know what it looked like. I ended up drinking a glass of it, and it tasted like shit. Yeah, it, it was not good. It was not great. But hey, the Red Bull had me amped on the dance floor, so I guess that's all that matters.
Dude, anybody who's like, "Oh, Hetty's delicious," I'm like, you are lying to yourself, dude. You're living a lie. Like
I
Jim Beam
mean,
is better.
you saw those pics. I think Nert was thankful that I drank that.
Nert was the happiest I'd ever seen him. Oh, well, JB sniped you on that day and it ended up working out for him. And now that brings us.
Well played.
Ciao.
I mean, that could
Ciao.
have implications for our game this week.
That's
Shit.
what I was saying. It could. And so we're just going to have to wait and see. But today, we had we had some stuff going on today. We had a Cole Komet bidding war. I was part of it. I lost. I had the least
Oh,
amount.
so I forgot about this. We were talking all that Cole Komet stuff. He just got added to Spike's team, so Spike's team is actively improving.
Yes, Spike actually made his
Okay.
first bid. Not his first bid, his first successful bid. And he got
He's been
Cole
active. He's been
Komet.
active.
He
It's
has
good
been
to
active.
see.
He's tried to add a quarterback a couple times. He added now Cole Komet. He's pondered trades with at least one person. And so
Now, I will say, um, this was a risky move. The only reason why is the way like how good things are going for him. Um, to add someone named Cole to your team,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
There's a reason Wardle didn't drop a single dollar. I'm guessing.
That could end up being just a big. Although I know I'm sure he's trying,
And I'm gonna win the league.
but yeah, that's a risky play. But he ended up with him
Dropping
ten
Mims does
bucks.
a good call. Mims, I feel like is like usually puts up some uh punchline stat lines.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of him. I never even considered Mims, but now he's got Cole Komet. Va got sniped trying to be a sniper, lost out on a Chicago boy. Va did add, there was another bidding war for Khalil
I'll
Shakir.
snipe your ass though. Put your ass in third place. That looks pretty bad, huh? When you're third place.
Yes, yeah, it is bad. So, it is what it is. But now you have Khalil Shakir that Jordan put down nothing for. And Va got put eight
I do.
bucks down.
I forget that Follow Spike's little clan tag is scam. Spike.
I think it has been ever since he changed it to
That's a
Follow
classic.
Spike.
He's got a classic team name that I don't foresee ever changing. It hits. It still hits.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one. Um,
We need a press release soon though.
we do, we do. He's been awfully quiet on that front, so we needs to discuss the Cole Komet acquisition and what he thinks about playing Wardle this week. We can maybe see if we can get in touch with him, have him release something over the group me. And I think that's his only bid was that one for this week. But I overspent on DeAndre Hopkins, $4. Added him, dropped Hunter Henry, who I spent $12 on the week before, because I'm notorious for dropping players shamelessly that I've spent money on. I don't care. So I added D Hop, and um, I had no one bidding against him. Oh, there was a little snipe here. JB getting to speak on a snipe of Aaron Rodgers over someone who clearly loves him in Jordan Dry. So go ahead. What was your thought
Camillus.
process with adding $2 on Aaron?
Yeah, I mean it's Aaron Rodgers, man. Dude throws touchdowns. Uh, I didn't really love my other backup. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably still a top 10 quarterback in the league. So, like, probably matchup based. I'm going to either play Aaron or, uh, Lord have mercy, Dak. And I just, try
You're
to
just, you're just,
solidify.
just a depth guy. Just love depth.
Yeah, yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Well, Jordan not getting him made me happy. I'll say that.
Well, I've kind of
Dropping.
realized like if players aren't big name players, apparently nobody in our league bids money on them hardly. So, like the
Yeah,
ghost of Aaron Rodgers, I thought I could get for $1 or $2 for sure.
yeah, and
Dropping
you.
Avatar Hill though, as for like a vibes thing, that's like risky, but
That's
That
the
is.
thing. When you need him most, he vanishes, right? So
Well, he'll be back when you don't need him, and he'll be back sitting on your roster. Um, eventually, this isn't your last encounter with him this season. I think we all know that
hell no, no, he'll be back.
he'll be back for sure. Lights, camera, Action Jackson added the Dolphins defense, dropping the Cowboys, and then added Evan McPherson, dropping Dicker the kicker. So, which one makes you sicker? Dropping Dicker or dropping the Cowboys D?
I
That
think
was
that
that was
Cowboys D is better than it looks.
I agree. They've had a couple rough games, but I think that defense is
Their offense has done them no favors, is the thing.
no, no. But their run defense does look bad. The past couple weeks, it looks bad. So I don't know
Yep.
what the fix is for them boys, but the more they suck, hey, that's fine. Detroit's gonna roll in and kick their ass in a couple weeks, so I'm good with it. Jordan Love added by cooking up a gamer, Jay Dry, which that could be an interesting one because he got Jordan Love for nothing because he was hurt. I don't know. I
Yeah, he
think
couldn't. He didn't want. He couldn't get Aaron Rodgers. So he got Aaron Rodgers Jr.
yeah. So
We have Aaron Rodgers at home.
so we'll see how that plays out for him with Jordan Love coming back because he has been struggling at the quarterback position. Now, my opinion is that he's going to continue to struggle with Jordan Love, the fraud. But others feel differently. So I don't know. That was a quarterback that people were high on having coming into the season, and he got hurt. I think that's the only thing that changed that for a lot of people. But if he's coming back, I mean, Jordan might have just, in his eyes, I disagree, but in his eyes, snagged what could be a top 10 quarterback for $0. So with all the struggles he's had, we'll see how it plays out. And then I added the Saints defense for nothing. So
I don't know, man. Like the bit I did watch Jordan Love, he puts up numbers in fantasy, but he did not look elite.
it's because he's not. It's because he's not. But the media wants to, you know, all over him. And
Hey, you know how this might be a stretch. Most of the things I say are, um, you know how like we're good God-fearing Catholic boys. You know, you know
yes,
how like some churches and stuff, maybe not churches, but certain convents and things might have like an ancient relic, like a bone shard of like a ancient holy person, you know?
okay,
Hmm.
yeah.
So like I'm starting to think Sean may have just gained the power of the Lord and made his team a house of worship because now his team contains a Saints D.
The
All right,
Holy
fine.
Bone.
Holy bone! That's huge.
The Holy Bone.
Not only that, but also you have favor with the patron saint of the Saints, Tim Ward.
Oh, Jesus.
Tim's blessing is upon you.
Yeah, and I mean, dude,
That's
if you think about this defense, I mean, Saint was Saint. Tim is a Saint. Tim was telling us he's like, the Saints D is going to do great because they spend so little time on the field because their offense with Drew Brees is out there all game.
oh yeah. He hasn't watched ball in 5 or 6 years. Very clear. He tried to rebound when I texted him. I said they're not even on the same. They're not even on those teams anymore. Drew Brees is retired, and he was like, "Oh, I
But I mean,
know, I know." Okay,
imagine trying to pay attention to the TV when you got like Selena Gomez tier like sitting next to you.
I know. You came up and said that she was too. So
I know, I was shooketh. I had to come up.
all right. Well,
Then I got eyed down by Mafia Daddy and I because he knew I caught him with his Gumar.
oh man. well, he definitely does know Danny DeVito's agent. So just so we know that we're good there. I'm making it, boys. I'm gonna make it to the league, even if it's a brief stint. Um. So we're gonna skip the pocket watch segment because that one stays with Jordan. If either of you would like to take the Snickers segment, just describing the power rankings that Watson's provided, we can either leave it or one of you can take that. That's up to you guys.
I can fly through it.
All right, go ahead, hit it.
It's a shame the pocket watch is such a valuable. Got 4% on the phone. All right, we'll start from the bottom. And this is the biggest drop, the biggest trending down. Let's just say he ate a Snickers, but it's looking like our boy needs another. He dropped 8 spots since his original ranking. Easy Breezy Cover Girl is at number 10. At 9, we have Saint Camille Vanilli.
Fake news. Fake news. My
He's
team is the strongest. It is the most well put together team. I have an idea of a great team.
So he's at 9, and then after this, we got people who have all trended up for a while. We got Cooking Up, whatever his name is. I can only see the first few words. Went up
You're
to
gonna have a gamer.
Cooking Up a Gamer at number 8. He bumped up to Double XP Weekend at 7. Auto Drafter up to 6. Okay. And then all those people bumped up 2 spots, and then bumping up 3 spots from 7 to 4 is Biting Kneecaps. Right, I skipped one. Vava was 5. He bumped down 1. Olave Garden, yours truly, has gone from spot 5 to spot 3. So I'm trended up a few spots. That's nice of you, Watson. Follow Spike has gone from 1 to 2, and Lights Kamara Action has gone from 3 to 1. So the top 5 is Wardle, Dad, me, Sean at 4, and Vava at 5. So they actually, their end of rankings are a little different than our power rankings. So I wonder what
They definitely are.
Watson's looking deep into the future.
But it makes sense
Hey,
that Watson is going to take their team and move them up. Like that auto draft Watson team going from 8 to 6. That's definitely some computer collusion right there. Just pointing it out.
Oh, I agree, Kitty.
But
all right, are we on to Shakaroni or some shit?
yes, we are. Yes, we are. The segment that you're trying to get torn out of here, but now you're utilizing it to not be fantasy related. I think that's what you were saying earlier. But listen.
Oh, I do remember. Okay, I was like, I definitely forgot. No, listen, there's parts of this segment I think are a little sus. The one part of the segment I like that has been left out is I like when Drizzy tells the story about eating that shakaroni and then taking a shit that was like a pool ball, like completely dense and like a brick. That was awesome. Missed that. I still need a shakaroni. Do they even sell those anymore?
I don't know. Do they?
I haven't seen the ad, but yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go on. What's grinding my gears in our world right now is that in the app, it's pissing me off like that um when I'm on like the matchup screen and I'm scrolling through, I see everybody's team photo except for Tuck. It just shows up blank, but then when I look on the website, it pops up and his photo is funny as hell and I like want to see it all the time and it's like it's the one that doesn't show up
I know
on
that bothers me too. Yeah.
yeah. So that grinds the hell out of my gears. It's really riling my cat up too. She's mad. Um yeah, that shit makes me want to shit out a little fucking rock hard turd. That like a spiky one that really tears up your hole, you know?
Oh, yeah. Shakaroni will
I
give you one of those
understand.
too.
I can tell you it's grinding my gears.
Let's hear
Absolutely
it.
grinding my
Let's
gears.
hear it.
Mike Evans, wake up. Where are you, Mike? I need you to catch some balls. I need you to run some routes. Because I was very vocal about your MVP ride, and this is not the way first ballot Hall of Famers should be playing the game. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Oh. Oh, is he at risk of not getting 1,000 for the first time in his
He
career?
is not on pace for 1,000.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see if that changes. He could have some big games ahead. You don't know. All right. So let me discuss what's grinding my gears here. What's tearing me up inside. Oh, it's just shred me up. like 3 pieces of a fat shakaroni. Um, is it fair to say it's unlikely that Isaiah Likely matches his first game of the season the rest of the way? Because
Yeah.
not only did I try to get him and failed, but I traded for him, and he has just been absolute ass since. If we're complaining about players on our teams, I mean, 23, and I've experienced a week of 3 and a week of .9. So I'm going to continue to leave him in here because of the investment, and also just because tight ends stink right now, and there's not really any good ones. I mean, Cole Kmet, I tried to get him just to throw him and have him, but I didn't. I did not manage to do that. So again, we wait.
In the words of the
Well,
late great James McClendon, is this not some sunk cost fallacy shit? Fucking cut that bitch free. I think you got fucking finessed.
Normally, I
yep.
normally I do cut him
You
free.
There's another phrase. It's like buy the rumors, sell the news. Man, you're 1 week too late on this trade deal.
y'all flamed me for that $1 bid, but I was like, I don't know if I mean I don't know. Yeah, I guess you.
And
Well,
I
Mark
can't
Andrews
even
ain't do
blame
shit
you because
neither, but
you took my original teaching to the max. Trust no bitch. Anything more than $1 is too much trust in a waiver wire ad. I understand.
Didn't wait because
but
you
yeah,
dropped
because
like
his
90
only
something
value.
though, right? Didn't you
Wait,
drop
what?
like 90 on Jacob on like Ford last year or something like that?
Yeah, and I wrote him to the chip.
That's true. That's true. He did help you get to the promised land.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, you didn't have to spend all that Skrilla, but I guess like in theory, Drizzy spent 50 something on Pollard, which I guess like he's got to think if he would spend that, maybe people would, but maybe I would. I don't know, but yeah, it was an interesting move.
Yeah. So far, it has not panned out. It's actually not really panned out for either. Pollard had a bad week last week. He only had like 5 points when the first time Jordan tried to play him. And the other guy I gave Jordan
Thank God.
automatically got hurt. So
It was that.
Evan Ingram, the tight end that I had, gets hurt immediately after I trade him to Jordan.
He's on the fucking Jags, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I ain't trusting them Jags neither. So
no, no. And then Tank Dell has been nothing for me. Like it's like a lose-lose this trade for us so far. So
yeah, is he even start? He doesn't even start Pollard this year. He's probably just hoping that
no, he tried one
the other
week. He
dude gets
tried
hurt.
last week to start him. He started him over Kyron, and it cost him big time.
Oh God.
So
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess in the grand scheme, this hasn't been devastating for either side, dude. Yeah, Tank Dell, that one. He was like the only way I had a shot at beating you that other week. Tank Dell was ass. Like that was that single game was like
ugh,
such a dog shit performance.
so bad, so frustrating. Yeah, Tank
He
Dell's
was
been
good last year though, right?
he was good until he got hurt. Cole had it. Cole added him, and he was really good. And then he got hurt. He broke his leg, and now he's just. They added Stephon Diggs, and it's like he's just nothing. So yeah, I mean that trade was interesting, but yeah, just grinding my gears that likely it's unlikely he plays as well as he did again the rest of the season. So listen, with that
Okay.
said, just we've done it. We've gotten through every segment we have. So
No, I was just reading this email. I got Hurricane Helene updates, strengthening Gulf Coast, latest tropical tornado group Florida. Um, pray to your God and tell your family you. That's not important. Okay, cake phone. Tell my family I love them. Yeah, right, dude. This is probably gonna be like a light sprinkle.
you're gonna have like a hurricane drinking party.
Um, I saw there was some stuff in my fridge, but who knows? Maybe I'll need to be on the. Might need to have my wits about me if I need to flee or some shit. But
That's fair.
although
That's fair.
I bet you driving drunk is not illegal when there's a hurricane, right? That's like martial law or some shit.
Well,
Maritime law, I think.
Married. Oh, because we're like sailing through the streets. That's a good point.
yeah.
I think we're forgetting a segment.
Are we? What segment are we forgetting?
Um, I believe it's a segment that like, did JB get us this connection? The icy hot take?
The icy hot
Oh,
take.
the icy hot take has not. It's
I don't know if it's been officially retired, but it has not been utilized
I
this
got
season.
one. I
it
got an
has not
icy
been
hot take.
utilized. But if anyone's got them, share them. Let's hear
Tucker
them.
is winning his next 5.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right. So that's just what. That's just a hot take. Where's the ice?
Yeah, where's the ice?
Wait, what do you mean?
It's icy hot. So there's got to be like a
I
ice.
invented the segment. I know what it is. But he only wins by like a maximum of 5 points every week.
Now that is icy.
That is
No,
icy.
that's hot. Wait, I don't know if they are, but okay. Um, okay, I've got an icy hot take for the ages. Y'all ready?
Let's hear it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh God, I'm scared. Uh, all right, all right. I've got a. This is a fucking. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. My icy hot, and it's icy hot take. Shaq is listening. We got to go big or go home. I'm sorry. Listen, that's just the type of guy I am. My icy hot take is that Loesch is going to score. Loesch is going to put up 300. Loesch is going to put up 300, dude, on the
300.
SAT.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
man.
Let's go. Because he is definitely not
And I'm gonna win the league.
Did I
nowhere
spend that whole
close.
time searching up what a good SAT score is and what a bad one is? Maybe.
Maybe, but listen, it's been a while since we've taken that test. I don't even remember
It's
what
been a
my score is.
while.
Yeah, well, I have not had an icy hot take that I'm sitting on here,
Everything I can remember.
but I think I can spot one real quick here. I think that my icy hot take is that Jordan is going to start Jordan Love at quarterback every week from here on out, and he's going to put up good fantasy numbers every week.
Okay.
But
I'm
both
listening.
Jordan and the Packers are going to lose every game that Jordan Love puts up good numbers in
Define good.
fantasy.
Like over 20.
Let's do yeah, cuz let's say 30 is good. Let's say 25. Anytime he puts up 25 or more in fantasy, the Packers will lose that game and Jordan will lose that fantasy matchup.
Okay. That's icy hot.
So let's
God, I
see.
feel so much better. All this
I thought
soreness is leaving me.
when you said both he and Jordan, I thought you were going to say they were both going to get like a severe concussion and he loses the
Oh
league or something.
god. No, no, no. Do not wish that on my co-host. No. But um gentlemen, we have, and with the return of the icy hot, thanks to Ted, we have concluded our our pod. So what that leaves us with is any final words you have for the league before the next time that you're on that you want them to hear and know.
All right. Yeah. You know what, League? We've been a little modest, baby, but it's good to be back. It was good to see all the boys together. Sometimes I'm like, what was so cool about the boys anyway, bro? It's been so long. It's like I forget about the homies. Then all the homies are together. Quack. Then all the homies meet up and the sparks start flying. The orgy starts heating up. My legs start shaking. But yeah.
Lady had nothing on our freak off.
But it was good to see the homies again. Feel like it generated a little heat in the league. And I mean, we'll be seeing each other again before only a couple months now. So
Yep.
It's good to have. And dude, honestly, I only play fantasy because the group me picks up. That's the only thing I like about it anyway. But hey, talking a little shit, I'm feeling good about my squad. Jaden Daniels about to win this offensive rookie MVP. Might be carrying me to a little dubski or two. So watch out for me. I know there's two big top dogs in the league, but I want to join the mix. That's all I got to say about that.
And I'm gonna win the league.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
I'm just gonna put the league on notice. I got the concept of a plan for an idea on the path forward to my return to victory. So watch out. I'm gonna make fantasy football great again. Also,
And I'm gonna win the league.
doubling down. Love all the homies. Glad we got a shot at Sean's wedding. Sean's a beautiful wedding. I don't think it could have gone any better. Um,
Oh boy.
Even the food was good. That's a rarity. I thought the food was pretty good.
Agreed.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, that it was awesome, man. Great seeing everybody.
But,
Somehow Matt didn't throw up on the turf this time. That was pretty impressive.
well, I heard he might have thrown up on some blonde turf if you catch my drift. But,
Grass on the field. Play ball.
No, it was good. It was good. It was a good time. It was good to see all the boys, and that's I mean, look, we do it for Harambe, but it's also nice when we all get to come together and enjoy our time as well, and talk a little fantasy. Although, like Ted said, fantasy was not necessarily at the forefront most of the time, but no, it was good, and having everybody there, having almost everybody there most of the time was just yeah, I couldn't have asked for anything more. So it was good. And to turn it back to fantasy though, look, we know why we do it. It is for Harambe. We got to have our dicks out for Harambe. Rest in peace, Harambe. And of course, as Tuck named our team so many years ago, Harambe for president. Um, boys, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
That was so beautiful.